We welcome you to a brand new league for the ESBN family of networks. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chris Cup as we pick them up in round 4 at Iowa Speedway. Joint Sprasso up in the booth with you tonight, joined with me by my partner in crime, the man from the Great White North himself, in the production truck, Mr. Kevin Cunyu, and joining me in the broadcast booth, Mr. Ernest King. Gentlemen, welcome to Iowa.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Ernest, you've run with these guys before. What do we have to expect here in the Chris Cup? Other than I've noticed everybody in the field is named Chris.
Well, it's definitely unique in that way. I know we have a few really fast drivers in here that I've seen and run with. Mr. Christopher Tate, he's usually normally up front. Leach Jonathan, he's usually, top 5, top 10, something like that. But another unique thing about these cars is they all have their own unique paint scheme also that you guys will notice on the screen.
See that as I'm currently looking at Chris Ritchie in what would normally be a Tabasco paint scheme, and a little bit different wording on there.
Tabasco, that's definitely unique.
So, a lot of different things going on here with the Chris Cup. We are proud to have them as part of the ESBN family of broadcasts. While we're thinking about it, don't forget to check out the station sponsor who's helping bring you this broadcast tonight. That, of course, is Diecast Nuts. They are an online community that is user-driven, that allows you to buy, sell, trade, show off, anything and everything diecast. You can find them on their Facebook page, facebook.com/diecast nuts, nuts with a Z, by the way. And you can, with the holidays coming, now's the perfect time to swing by their shop area and pick up some stuff over there to give your favorite gearhead. Also, we do need to thank the fine folks at Butt Kicker. If you want to get the feel in your game, and it doesn't matter what game it is, whether it be iRacing, Call of Duty, or anything in between, put a butt kicker on your seat and you'll feel the action. You can find them on their webpage, www.buttkicker.com. Also, we do need to, and if I can get my mouse to work, I can give you the next one, folks. Also, we do need to thank the fine folks at DeMarzo's Gears. You can give them a call for all their fine merch at 661-212-3389. And SimNut Racing Sims. For all your sim peripherals, SimNut Racing Sims is where you want to be. So, Hot Lap's getting ready to wind on down here. Actually, no, I take that back. They are already into qualifying. I do apologize, folks. As Chris Robarge in the 98 is sitting top of the pile right now with a 23.189, unofficial track record, of course. Chris Williams out on track in the...
That would be 37.
31.
31, yeah.
And a lot of different things going on here. 37 of Chris Meza, that GoChris.com ride. Chris Leach out on track right now as well in the 48, so good to see him turning some laps. And I know my trading paints isn't working right because I'm seeing a paint scheme I made for him for a different series, and
Yeah, I do see 48 wings on his vehicle.
okay.
Currently, he is sitting, let me see, aboard here with the 15th right now.
Yeah, not the best qualifying time. He banged the wall a couple of times. Now, the thing is with Iowa, you're going to be kind of up towards that wall, especially through 1 and 2. That's the quick way around. And then, of course, coming out of turn number 4, you're going to really want to throw it up towards the safer barriers up there. And, I mean, the low lane will work early on the tire run, but as those tires wear off, that second and even a third lane are really going to be advantageous, because without them, it's going to be a one-lane track. So, and the car is going to be virtually undrivable. Now, Ernest, I hate to put you on the spot, but these guys run open sets, don't they?
No, I believe they're fixed.
Okay.
I know in the we cover the truck series also, and they're fixed. And I thought when I opened up the lobby that it was fixed setup.
Okay.
But you're right.
So,
this track here, like you said, the bottom line, you can run it for a while, but once you get a few laps on there, everybody tends to. I've raced here in the ARCA cars. They drive a little bit different, but tire
they
wear
drive
is
a
all
lot
the
bit
same.
different.
Yeah, the tire wear is still the same. Once you get 10, 15 laps on them, you're definitely going to be moving to that middle of the high line. Sure.
Absolutely. As Chris Papa in the Crisco, and it's not the play on, I believe, Geico. The Crisco Insurance number 13 out on track right now. Looking to fire one off.
That is clever, though.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. But, it just, you say it, and, it's like back when I used to actually race in the real world on the short tracks. My number was, since my last name is Trapasso, I used to have the 9T. And somebody said, yeah, the 90, and everybody's looking going, I don't see a 90 out here. So, yeah.
Right.
How to piss off an announce crew in one simple step.
Yeah. That right.
But yeah, no, real excited to have these guys aboard. When I first heard it, I went, wait, what? How's that work? And then I'm looking, and there are that many Christophers in iRacing. So if you're named Chris and you want a fun competitive league on a Sunday night, take a look at Chris Cup. And
Christopher Tate just jumped up. Sorry to interrupt. Jumped up
second quick.
Second quick.
Yeah, that's in the National Chris number 20. Sure, we'll go with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm been nothing short of impressed, because I watched some of the racing from last week prior to us doing the race that we did then, and yeah, I'm very excited about what I'm seeing so far. So qualifying over, and bear with me here as they're starting to grid up. Chris Robarge in the 98 going to be starting up on the point with Chris Tate, one of the names that was mentioned to keep an eye on. That is row 1. Row 2 is going to see Chris Ritchie and Chris Jones. Chris James and Chris Reese going to roll off in row number 3, with Chris Pitts and Chris Otto rolling off in row number 4. Chris Lawrence and Chris Kotching going to roll off in row 5, with Chris Papa and Chris Gouge in row 6. Row 7, we see Chris Williams and Chris Meza. The other Christopher B. Williams in 13th. Christopher Williams with no middle initial, starting 15th. He's going to be joining row number 8 with Chris Corvo. Chris Crowder and Chris Leach roll off in row 9, with row 10 seeing Chris Ryan and Chris Thompson. Chris Landy and Chris Jones starting shotgun on the field in row 11. 22 cars set to roll off here as the field starts to form behind the Ford Mustang GT pace car, the official pace car of iRacing. 200 laps of scheduled distance. These guys have 6 total sets of tires. So the set that's on the car and then 5 in their pocket for the rest of the race. Take a quick look at the track temperature. We've got 77-degree ambient air temperature with an 80-degree track temperature at the start of this thing. 2 mile an hour headwind out of the north, which means they're going to be catching it down the back straightaway here. Only 75% fuel fill, so guys, I'm thinking somewhere around lap 45-ish. We should see takers down pit road if we're going to be staying green.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then they will most likely take tires every time they come down pit road.
They're going to need to be a little bit careful. It depends on how this one goes. Yes, you're definitely going to want tires because this track is notorious for burning the right front completely off the car.
Right.
So, Robarge and Tate going to bring them down the back straightaway here behind the pace car. And again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chris Cup. So as the field works its way into the 3-4 complex, the only thing that these drivers are going to be left to do is you're going to wipe the visor, you're going to pull the 5-point safety harnesses just a little bit tighter, and get ready for some action here at Iowa. Race fans, it's showtime! As the green flag comes out, we get the field underway. Robarge and Tate still in lockstep as they haul it off into turn number 1.
Christopher Tate running strong second.
Still side by side. Tate shot out of a cannon going down the back straightaway, though. Gets the great pull, and we've got a new leader just like that as they haul it off to complete lap number 1.
24 car of Chris Ryan Jones running back there in third. He's got a, looks like Christopher Ritchie right on him, looking to the inside.
So that outside lane started to pay dividends already as Jones and Tate both started in that outside line as Ritchie just roses to the inside, full send-it mode, side by side coming out of turn number 4. They head to the stripe, give third place to Jones that time as Chris Koenig in the Chris's Motorsports number 19 already starting to make some headway, already up a couple of spots from his 10th starting spot. So again, that outside line already showing dividends.
Yeah, you see most of the field that we can see here on the screen is migrated up there already.
And that's kind of to be expected. Relatively cool track temperatures too, as sun's starting to set. As there is the 66 of Reese going to the inside of the deuce of James. Or James was trying to go around the outside, and we're already under caution. And that looks like Leach may have gotten it all wrong coming through the 3-4 complex.
I'm looking for it.
He was running side by side with the 40 of Thompson, and Thompson looks like he may possibly have pushed up the track just a tick, and caught Leach in the left rear quarter panel, and sideways she goes, and it was sideways enough to trigger the caution here at Iowa. There's a little bit of bumping and banging going on behind them. That's the 71 of Landy getting into it with, who are we here? 17? With the 17 of Gouge.
Oh, yeah, there it is. We just saw it and then caused some checking up with some others.
And that was weird. That was just like the back of the car just snapped around from what I saw. What it looked like to me, that was awfully strange.
Well, there was a little bit of contact there. It was one of those deals where it was just it's a basic physics lesson, folks. Two solid objects can't occupy the same part of the space-time continuum at the same moment in time, or else we get caution flags.
Yeah. Real estate runs out pretty quick.
Yes, it does. So Leach going to go in and let the crew bang on that thing with a sledgehammer, try to get the arrow back to it. Didn't look like a lot of damage, just a little bit crinkle in the left rear.
I think he went in while pit lane were still closed. I saw the red lights flashing.
Those red lights are always flashing.
Ah, I see.
So, Tate, Jones, Ritchie, Robarge, and Reese, your top 5 right now as we're working caution number 1.
Just want to point out some movers. We got Chris Randy coaching. He's moved up 4 spots. Mr. Papa right behind him also. So these two just moving their way up through the field. Chris Ryan back there in the 18 cars up 9 spots. So we got some people coming to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some guys that are trying to make up for that. Definitely some guys trying to make up for that. Those oopses in qualifying. So, we've got some movers going already as we should be going 1 to go this time across the stripe. But we've already seen that outside lane pay dividends. I would be surprised if we see any of the leaders elect to take that inside starting position, at all tonight. And just as I say that, Tate takes the inside starting position. Okay.
So I'm wondering, do they have the option in this league to choose that inside or outside?
I would assume as much. No one has told me otherwise,
Right.
and that's normal to cup racing.
In the leagues.
Matter of fact,
yeah, not in the official race.
Okay. No, well, you can. You just have to announce it to everybody to make sure that everybody knows what the hell's going on. So, pace car is in. Tate has the button. He holds him down, and green flag comes out, and we are back underway. Tate pulls the trigger, gets the clear already, and it looks like he's bringing the 35 of Ritchie with him as they haul it off into turn number 1.
Good jump from that 25 car. He is out there a ways.
Definitely got a strong car tonight as he's got a pack of angry wolves behind him, though, as here comes the deuce of Chris James. He blows by the inside of Chris Ritchie up into the number 3 slot. Got a 3-fer there. And he was 5th or 6th at the restart. And Ritchie is way off the pace. That Tabasco number 35 is not running right now. And I'm not seeing any damage on it, but it definitely looks like it's seen better days.
I wonder if he just has a little bit of a handling issue. I haven't seen him get into the fence or anything like that.
Well, he's getting ready to lose a few more spots. He's got Papa, Ryan, and Otto right there within striking distance. And don't count out the number 9 of Lawrence as well. So he's got to stop the hemorrhaging right now, as he's already dropped to 6th after starting 3rd on the restart. As 43's into the wall.
Oh my!
Yeah, that was ugly.
And the 33 just couldn't get woed down enough and just clobbered the 13 down on the apron.
Yeah, the 18 just.
Do we know if they have any quick repairs, or do they got to?
They do not. They have no fast repairs tonight, so there is no going to the backup car. And it looks like Papa might be done for the night, as is the 33 of Jones. He's limping that with a ton of nose damage.
That was brutal, and it's so unfortunate when you have, a car come back up on track and there's nothing you can do,
And I think the 13 of Papa, yes, he has. He's hand grenaded the engine, trying to limp it to his pit stall. So that's pretty much gonna extremely hinder his night. Because I believe they charge it 25 minutes just to change an engine in the iRacing servers. And he's got one gone. I think Jones has one gone. I would be surprised if Jones doesn't have one gone. And that Hoot Chris 18 of Chris Ryan, that's definitely seen better days as well. He might be okay because he backed it into the 13 of Papa and the wall. So we're going to see how long those guys are going to have to pit farm these cars. So
I've definitely been a part of that in some of my league races where, things happen and guys are on the brake, but that car just still comes back up into that line. And by the time you see it and try to get onto your brakes, you don't have a shot. You're just along for the ride.
And
Yeah.
like you say, Ernest, in situations like that, even if you do have time to react, chances are you're going to be the cause of somebody else's accident. If you jump up all of a sudden. So you're damned if you do, or you're damned if you don't.
yeah, it's where do you want the damage? Do you want it in the front of the car or the back of the car? 'Cause
Exactly.
if you jump on the binders and the guy behind you doesn't see it, you now just gotten run over from behind.
Most definitely.
I've thrown up on the timing tower there the best times by, and as you can see, our field from top to bottom is separated by, what is that, under a second?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well under a second.
Yeah, I'm seeing less than, actually it's about half a second from the best to the worst right now. As the lights go out on the Chris Mustang or Chris Christang pace car, sure, why not? We're gonna go with it. Ernest, why don't you bring us back to green this time, bud?
All right. All right, Racing Mustang getting ready to drop down on the pit road. Got the 24 car on the inside, 2 car on the outside. It'll be Chris James and Brian Jones. Randy Coaching working his way up top 3. Christopher Reese inside of him. See what we can get going on here. Got the 88 and the 35 in the row back behind them. Pace car off. Green flag is out. 24 didn't get such a good jump as he did last time. That 2 car kind of hanging there on the outside. Kind of pulls away now.
Time to run better. Ooh, hang on to it. There it goes.
Oh, I saw it coming.
Who was that?
That was the 62 of Reese. He's caught more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games.
Yeah, I kind of caught that at towards the end of that. I was going to say something about it, and he just got a little bit tight. Oh, that was Randy Coaching that he got into there. Chris Coaching, sorry.
Looks like the 62 just went up the track. The 19 was already there. The 1 absolutely nowhere to go. The 17 nowhere to go. And I didn't see, and the 41 just annihilated. There is no rear deck tray on the 41 anymore. There's not a nose on the 62. There's not a nose on the 19. So a lot of torn up race cars here early at Iowa.
That was tough. I did see a little wiggle from him on the restart there, and then Randy, Chris Coaching was just in the wrong spot. I saw him try to go to the high side to avoid that, and nowhere to go.
It's a good one when one of the drivers PMs me during the middle of the race and asks Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. That's exactly how it was phrased. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. So I'll give you a hint. It was probably one of our military guys. So
I know who that was.
I saw it too.
Yeah. So Working caution number 3, 18 laps in the books.
I tell you, this
And
has worked out for some drivers. Chris is that Roberge or Roberge? But the one Canadian in the field has moved up to 5th with all these cautions.
that would be Chris Robert.
Robert.
Come on, man, you're near
Listen,
enough Quebec.
I know. I'm a shameful Anglophone Ontarian. I failed French. I'm sorry.
There you go. But
they teach French in Ontario in a way designed to make you hate French. I'm sorry, that's just the truth.
how do you really feel?
So has anybody up in the front even came in? I haven't seen anybody up front come into the pits yet to change any tires. I think they're all still out there on originals.
I would think what happened to the 35 just now, or not the 35, the yeah, I can speak. The 62. You know what happened with those guys would have been a warning shot. Hey, you guys have to really make sure that your right front, you can preserve it as much as you can. But again, I didn't see anybody up towards the front, as we've got Jones, James, Richie, Lawrence, and Robert rounding out your top 5. But how about Chris Thompson in the 40 right now? Started 20th, currently running in 8th. So 12 spot gain for that piece in the Chris Light. If it was a Dodge, I'd drink to it.
Sorry, which car are we looking at there?
The number 40.
So I'm just wondering if he started in the back maybe just to run some laps and just unexpectedly, from all the cautions that we've had early, just ended up there.
I'm thinking yes, because he did not post a qualifying time. Thompson in the 40 did not post a qualifying time. Chris Landy in the 71 did not post a qualifying time, and Chris Jones in the 33 did not post a qualifying time. And I bet Chris Jones is regretting that decision now.
Yeah.
As the lights go out on the Chris Christang pace car. Jones going to lead him back to the green here in the... I know I'm not seeing his paint scheme right. So I'm not even just...
24?
It's a Pepsi.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Pepsi, yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Trading Paints and I have a love-hate relationship. It loves to make me hate it.
That is a smooth-looking paint scheme, though. I like the purple and black.
I wish I could see it. I can't see it, and I can't see the deuce. As the field comes out of turn number 4, the pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road. Jones going to have the button one more time and holds him down. Green flag comes out. We are back underway as he is in lockstep with the deuce of James right now. James going to have to concede because the short way around. Throws it to the inside going into turn number 1. Coming out of turn number 2, though, James now has to defend against Lawrence.
And Jones just takes off like a bullet.
And we're back under caution.
Yellow.
No.
I wish I was joking. That looks like...
Is that Christopher Williams?
The 40 was involved. The 31 is completely sideways, so if you want to focus in on the 31,
yeah, that's Williams.
We should be able to pick that up as to what the heck just went horribly wrong.
It looks like he got severely tight going into the corner, and just everybody was coming up on him a little bit faster.
Yep. That was it.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of aero damage on a lot of these cars. The 98 catching a piece, the 88 catching a piece, the 84, the 40, all catching a piece of this one. The 20, who Tate did go down pit road at one point. Now, the Tate was able to make it around, but the 71 just caught a race car to the face.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
getting ready to point that out. That 71 just, I don't know if he even had a chance to get onto the binders or not.
Well, how about our good friend Chris Leach in the 48? Um, let's go on board with him and see what he saw, because before we went live, I was able to get a GoPro on his helmet. So Kevin, if you could pull up the in-car for Leach, um, I'm sure that's going to give us a hell of a view of this whole melee. That's a first you say it, then you do it kind of moment.
Talking about putting on the spot.
Yeah, I'm
Should
not
be-
sure the way that we do the replays by incident in this. I'm not sure if I can pull up.
Right. Okay, no problem. But yeah, I was able to backdoor the footage on my end, and yeah, that's definitely new fire suit material.
Well, we can at least say this, that Mr. Leach was involved in one of those early cautions and worked his way back up again, +9. Not too bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And how about Chris Ryan in the 18? Started 19th, currently sitting in 8th. So a great climb for him so far. And there has been a little bit of carnage early on. That hopefully these guys are going to get it settled down. And so far, Coaching and Jones, the only two to actually put it on the hauler. So Coaching currently sitting in 19th. Jones was the first one to really hand grenade one. So if Corvo and Papa can get it back out on track, they could make up a couple of spots in the all-important points chase.
That's for sure. And I see that in the truck series also. Sometimes we have a little, as I coined it in the truck, carnage. Just get out there and run your laps if your car is not too bad, and you can make up some spots. It's definitely possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That puts us with 14 cars left on the lead lap. Chris Williams in the ace, getting his lap back, as he was involved in one of those earlier melees, went a lap down, and is now back on the lead lap. So it gives us 14. So we've got Jones, Lawrence, Ritchie, Robert up to 4th. So good on you for our friend from the Great White North, as of course he did start on the point. Then we have Otto, Tate, Pitts, Ryan, Leach in 9th, and Chris Raul Meza running in the 10 slot, as it looks like the lights are getting ready to go back out on the Ford Mustang pace car.
And still, none of our leaders have been on pit road to take tires yet.
I can't really say I blame them. We've only had, 5-6 laps really under anger. So
Yeah, we haven't had a long run really at all.
We're 28 laps into the 200, and we're on the 4th caution. So yeah, I wouldn't say so.
yes, you do have to be a little bit mindful of what's going on, but all things considered, I can't be too disappointed with what I've been seeing so far. There's been a lot of action, just not all of it in the good form that we like to see. So Jones going to lead him back to the green this time as the field works its way out of the turn 4 complex. Pace car is in. Jones holds him down again. Green flag comes out, and we are back underway. And ooh, hanging on to her son. That's the 18 of Chris Ryan, looking to make some headway. He's got some distance to make up, as they're 3 wide coming out of turn number 2.
25 car looking down on the inside.
It's Chris Ritchie dropping spots again. Definitely not strong on the restarts in the Tabasco number 35, as he now has Chris Ryan, who was involved in one of those earlier melees, all over his back bumper now, and we've got a couple of Chris Elliott paint schemes with Ryan and Otto running nose to tail now. And here comes Pitt on the high side. That's Pitt in
The
Chris's
84?
Auto Parts in the 84. And I'm sorry, that is not a Chase Elliott scheme. That is actually more of the DEI version of the scheme that's based on. So Jones with a half back straightaway lead over Chris Tate right now. Lawrence trying to figure out a way in the 9 to kind of reel in Tate, but he's got a really good gap over Robert in the 98, as Chris Ritchie has his hands full right now with Chris Ryan, as Ryan to the high side trying to make that outside lane work already, and Chris James in the deuce, who has been down pit road. He's one of the first ones of our front runners who came down pit road to get some fresh tires, trying to make some headway. The only thing is he's going to burn all the goodie off the tires before he gets a chance to play. As the 18 finally gets a clear on the 35, they're 3 wide going into turn number 3.
That 35 car, I wonder, I mean, you can't really do much with these setups. You could change maybe some brake bias or some steering offset. Wonder if he kind of went the wrong way for short runs and set his car up for the longer run, because he definitely loses some spots on the shorter run from a restart.
I'm thinking he just went the wrong way, period, on the brake bias adjustment, because that's one of the ways to not burn the right front off this car is to dial some brake to the rear. It kind of loosens the car up a little bit, frees it up on corner entry, and then throttle control from center off. And I'm thinking he definitely went the wrong way on that brake bias adjustment early on. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th really starting to heat up right now. 5th, as you got Ryan, Pitts, and James all just throwing bombs at each other right now.
I've run quite a few races on this racetrack, and I love the center lane on this track where you kind of get the bumps and texture to where you can set your car up on the exit to where maybe you shoot down below, or you can just ride it all the way out to the loft. It's extraordinary. I love this track a lot.
Not really a fan of this one. Now, mind you, this is a very different track than we're used to seeing, because it's not quite a mile. It's actually 0.88 miles, and it's a V-shaped track, which it's set up similar to some of the 1.5 miles that the Cup cars will run at, but it's so much shorter that you get that short track feel. But this track will definitely races bigger than it is.
Right now we're riding inside the 84 as he's working on that 18 Hooters car. You just see him working the wheel, and then he'll ride it all the way out to the fence. It's like these guys going to get some laps in now. I think they've all calmed down a little bit, and they're just trying to see what they can do on the ball call.
Absolutely, and with all those cautions, it's going to be interesting to see when we're going to see the first takers to bring it down pit road under green here, as Ryan in the 18 right on the back bumper of your pole sitter Robert in the 98. So that battle for 5th is really starting to heat up now, and I believe I saw some action in front of them. No, I didn't, as Jones and Tate starting to really start to heat up for the lead here. Jones has it, Tate wants it, and those guys 2.5 seconds to the good over Chris Lawrence, who sits in 3rd.
That's what makes this track so unique. Remember, right off the start, the 24 kind of checked out on everyone, and now you got the 25 of Tate just reeling him in. It's crazy. I love it. Good racing.
Absolutely. As Tate had started on the outside of row number 1, dropped back a little bit. I'm not sure if we can get a graphic, or if we can get somebody to let me know Has Tate already been down pit road? As he gets a little bit of wiggle coming out of 4 there.
Let me see if I can find that out for you. One sec.
If I remember, I don't think any of the leaders have been on pit road during any of the yellows.
Okay. And they are coming up very quickly on lap traffic as Tate to the point coming off of turn number 4. And that looks like the ace of Chris Williams. And it is. So Williams about to go a lap down. And he's been struggling too. Definitely not had the best night for Chris Williams there.
But good thing is he's still out there turning laps. So
Exactly.
a lot of timing and scoring here. Tate is just his last lap was a 24:49 to Jones' 24:63. So he's really picked up the pace here the last few laps.
And then that's where that brake bias adjustment really comes in handy because you can start dialing in your brakes. Oh,
Nice wiggle.
getting a little sketchy coming off of 4 there. Nice save by Chris Tate in the 20. So
Well, that's weird because it shows me the 25 on his car. But on timing and scoring, it does show the 20. That's kind of confusing me there a little bit. If it's confusing people watching, I'm sorry about that.
very simple fix. Go into options and check the box that says show custom numbers. Under graphics. Or hide car numbers, sorry. Make sure that box has a check mark in it.
Yeah. I already had it. No, all my paint schemes.
Yeah. You're welcome. So Tate, Jones, James, Lawrence, Robert, and Pitts, your top 6 right now as
If I'm reading this correctly, Tate has been in on lap 13. And
All right.
Jones has not.
Okay.
All right. So, Tate's already got a little bit. He's got a little bit of pressure tires on that car. Jones, I dare say, has probably used up the right front with how fast and hard he's been running so far in the 24 there. And here comes the deuce of James. We saw him drop back a little bit, and he's now back up, closing in very quickly on Chris Ryan Jones in the 24.
He's actually running a little bit lower the line. I mean, not by much, just a little bit. It's helping him get that run up to the wall, and then he pulls him in a little bit.
It definitely is, and it looks like Chris Ritchie in the 35 is starting to wake that car up as he is now battling, and he's going to use the 1 as a pick as he throws it to the inside of Chris Ryan in the 18. Ryan has to take evasive action and drop down, so Chris Ritchie in the 35 heads up driving there and able to get the spot. Probably not the way he was hoping to get it, but he definitely got it.
Good old lap traffic.
Absolutely. The bane of existence if you're battling, though.
Yeah, right. It definitely makes you get up on that wheel a little bit harder when you got somebody chasing you down.
Absolutely.
It's good to see these guys finally settle down, and we're getting a good green flag run in here, and hopefully get some green flag stops here shortly. It's definitely going to change things up a little bit.
Very much so. As now I can see the Pepsi paint scheme. And the Chris Genuine draft number 2 of Chris James sideways off of turn number 4.
He's trying to reel in that 24 car, but we're starting to get some laps now. Seems like they're both running that middle lane. Got to, find your way through the bumps and all that good stuff. So this is good racing right here.
Well, the thing is, especially it's coming off of turn 4, you've really got to let the car run and be free to carry any speed down the front chute here. James tried to haul it under Jones coming off the 4, and that's not really where you want to try to do it. So he's going to try to get a little bit of a draft coming off of turn number 2, reeling him in, and full send it mode going into turn number 3.
When we were on the bumper cam there, you can definitely hear his throttle where he was out of the throttle, and you could see him gaining on the 24 when he got back into the throttle. It looked like he's a little better off on exit.
Probably because Chris Jones in the 24 has basically burned the right side tires off with how hard and fast he went out every time he had control of the field under those cautions. We saw him jump out and just full send it mode going into 1, so he may have used up that right front already. He's not giving up, though, as he's trying to battle back on Chris James.
And Chris Ritchie keeps moving forward. I don't know if he was struggling earlier or if he was purposely saving his tires.
That's a good possibility. We didn't even think about that one. Hoping for a long green flag run. I mean, Ernest touched on it, where he may have set his car up or set the adjustments that you can make in these cars, which in a fixed setup league, you can adjust your steering wheel offset and your brake bias, and that's it. He may have set it up so that he's got something later in the run. Yes, he is. I'm showing him up into 6th after dropping all the way back to 9th at one point. And the battle in front of him starting to heat up, as that is the 98 of your pole sitter, Robert, as he throws it to the inside of Lawrence. A couple of military-themed cars, as we are just getting past Veterans Day. So hot and heavy right now, as
Number 9 did a little wiggle, and Robert went down low, and looks like he's getting a good run on him.
Absolutely. And here comes the 35 of Richie, shot out of a cannon out of turn number 2.
I was getting ready to just point that out, that 35 is coming.
Absolutely, as he is now still in 6th, but Lawrence is in trouble. And that number 9, he is in, and there it goes. Richie seems to have better tires, as slide job coming out of turn number 4, going to throw the block on Lawrence, as Lawrence was trying to come back on the exit, not able to make it happen. And just like that, we've got a real hot and heavy battle for 5th.
It won't be much longer. We're going to have that 88 car going by him, too. He's actually been following Richie up through the field here.
Yeah, Chris Otto definitely did a lot of saving earlier. Already gained 1 spot. It's about to gain another one as he throws it to the inside of Lawrence coming off at turn number 4. Almost side by side going into turn number 1. And, yeah, Lawrence has burned the tires completely off the number 9. And you can tell just by the way he's having to drive that car.
Absolutely.
So Tate, James, Jones, Robert, Richie, Lawrence, Otto, Lawrence, Pitts, Ryan, and Leach rounding out your top 10, as we are 65 laps in the books. And gentlemen, I got to think we're going to be seeing some green flag pit stops starting to happen here, relatively short. Yes, you were able to save some of those early oopses, as we're going to call them tonight. But I got to think these guys have got to be getting close to bingo on fuel, some of them anyways.
I think you're right. And we've also got Tate coming up on lap traffic. Who is that up ahead? The 62?
That is the 6 deuce of Chris Reeves. Currently running 6 laps down. He got caught up in that early melee that we saw cars going airborne and cars getting the front end ripped off. So Chris Reeves trying to show you how to turn a cup car into a pavement modified in one simple step. Not going to help his case for aerodynamics, though.
Don't look now, but Chris James in that 2-car, boy, he is hawking Christopher Tate. I mean, he is reeling him in. I watched the lap times here, and he is. Let's see, Tate ran a 24.81 to James's 24.86. That lap was a little bit slower, but I think with the lap track right there, that 2-car is definitely going to catch him right here.
Oh, absolutely is. The lap car doing the right thing, getting the heck out of the way, letting the leaders battle this one out.
Get the defense there a little bit, or a 20 car.
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
He was close.
Yeah,
another coat of paint, he would have been in deep trouble. I just went back and looked, but yeah, another coat of paint, he definitely would have been in deep trouble. And you can tell that he realizes Chris James is coming, and he's starting to try to hustle that car. But I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Tate and James right now are over 3 seconds to the good over Chris Jones in the 24, who Jones earlier, short runs, yeah, the money's on Jones. Long runs, you got to give it to Tate and James, which, Ernest, that was one thing that you mentioned in the pre-race. Those are two of the guys you definitely want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, last lap, James ran a 77 to Tate's 81, so he's definitely there, gaining.
We've got the 41 going down into pit lane.
That is Chris Corvo, who is 36 laps down at this point. He's just trying to limp that thing around. And he just passed Chris Coaching. So I'm thinking he just did that just to make sure that he could get the points. As we still have cars on pit road, the Chris Papa that he just passed, still working on getting that engine changed out. And the battle for the lead is real hot and heavy, and they've got the ace in front of them again. So this could get interesting as James throws the pick going into 3. Tate trying to make it 3 wide. I don't think this is going to work.
Oh, what's going on?
I mean, Chris Williams not knowing what the heck's going on. He wasn't expecting James to really come down on him like that.
Tate is battling hard on the high side. You would think that the momentum would beat to the high side.
Beating and banging again.
Not but a coat of paint between them.
I don't think you could have gotten a coat of paint or... Oh. Nope. Okay. We're good. So Tate and James just in lockstep right now and leaning on each other as it looks like James, he got the bonus point that he needed for leading a lap. Right now, drops back in to follow Chris James around, or James following Tate around right now. Got his bonus point for leading the lap a couple laps ago, and has to fight to stay off of him as Tate is really pinching down James anytime James tries to throw it to the inside. So, Tate doing what he can. He's sideways coming off of turn number 4.
What I find interesting is these guys are running side by side, battling, working their way through lap traffic, but yet they're still pulling away from third place. That's extraordinary. It's crazy.
Yeah, as hard as these guys are running, you would think that Jones would be able to start to reel them in, but no, they're actually stretching their legs as they're closing in on 4 seconds to the good. As Jones right now in no man's land, as he's 2 seconds to the good over Chris Brobear and Chris Ritchie, who are just still hot and heavy for the number 4 spot.
Yeah, Christopher Ritchie back there, he started working his way back up through. Oh, whoa, look at that run he just got. but he kind of overdrove it going into the corner, so I guess he got a little bit tight there. But his run or his march, you would say, towards the front kind of has stalled now. Maybe he used up what he tried to save to get back up there, but still, tremendous job sitting in the top 5.
Well, the thing is, if you take a look at the line that he's running coming through 1 and 2, he kind of diamonds the corner and uses the banking to his advantage to get a run down the hill, down the back straight. So that might be something to keep an eye on as this run continues on.
And
We're still waiting to see who's going to be the first one to blink, though.
We've got them. It's Jones, Lawrence, Pitts, Ryan, and Leach all in.
And so that is 5th, 6th, and 7th. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th all in.
Looks like Tate's coming in.
So Tate is going to hand the lead of the race over to Chris James. And, you know, we see it all the time in other series that we do. How big is the undercut going to be? You know, getting those fresh tires early and being able to go like hell for however many laps until your tires burn off. As Tate taking 4 right now. James is hoping for a caution, I guarantee you, in that Miller Genuine Chris number 2. And he doesn't look like he's coming down pit road yet at all, as the 35 and the 98 still throwing haymakers at each other. Whoa, hang on to her. That was the 84 of Pitts getting sideways, coming through the grass, real slow on the front straightaway. He got it all sorts of wrong. I think he was trying to come down pit road. No, just lost it coming off of 4. And that would be Chris Jason Pitts' lawn mowing service.
Yeah. You know, but I don't think we're going to get a caution. I think James is definitely, and Raygors too, I think they're both going to have to come down, and this is going to be cycling through. It's just looking that way right now.
We just got our answer on how big the undercut's going to be. You take a look at the 9 of Chris Lawrence, just flew by Chris James like he was stopped.
35's coming in.
So 35's coming in. We're still waiting on the rest of them to bring it pit side. James with a 6-second advantage right now, almost 7 seconds over Chris Robert, your pole sitter in the 98. And James stays out for another lap, as does Robert.
So we got all these guys that have been on pit road just going, please stay green, please stay green, please stay green.
Absolutely. It's Chris Ritchie in pit. Chris Crowder started 17th, already up to 4th. As
up to 3rd now.
Up to 3rd now, as Chris Thompson is in the Chris Light number 40. And Ryan Jones has been in the 24. So
from what I'm seeing here on timing, James is running 25:45s. People that have pitted, so Christopher Tate, he's in 4th right now, running 23s. So I don't. If he has a spotter or a crew chief at Chris James, he should be coming in here very soon. He's losing a ton of time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's definitely got to stop the hemorrhaging, as they say. As Tate's already up into 3rd and on a march to try to get his lap back the hard way. As he's coming less than the length of the back straightaway behind Chris James right now.
And James is in.
And there it is.
And that, my friends,
as is Robert.
As is Robert, yep. So that should complete the cycle, and it looks like Tate's going to come out with the lead here when everything cycles through.
He should, as Crowder eats the wall going on the back straightaway, losing a ton of speed. I'm sorry, that was on the front straightaway. Brushed the wall. and lost a little bit of momentum there. So he's bringing that one pit side. So that's going to hand effectively second place over to Chris Jones in the 24. And between himself and Tate is 7 seconds.
He lost
say
a
that-
ton of time staying out that long. I mean, I know he was, hoping and hoping, but it was a long shot. But he lost a ton of time.
Oh, no, Jones went in almost the same lap as Tate. It's James that's
Yeah.
on the losing end right now,
Right, yeah.
as he is 12 seconds behind your new leader, Chris Tate. 12 and a half seconds behind. That is just unbelievable. As we are working lap 92 of the Chris Cup, round 4 from Iowa. Joint Trasso up in the booth, joined with me by Ernest King. Is it Ernest or Ernie? Which would you prefer?
You could go either one. Ernie is what I really go by.
All right, so
Doesn't matter.
Ernie King joining me in the booth. Kevin Conyo doing his magic in the production truck as always. Again, Kevin, thank you for giving us the great pictures that you provide week in and week out.
My pleasure.
So let's restack this field right now and give you an idea of where we're running. Chris Tate, 8 seconds to the good over Chris Jones, who currently sits in second. Jones has an almost 2-second lead over Chris Otto, who sits in third, who has over a second to the good over Chris James, who sits in fourth. Chris Lawrence in fifth is another 6 seconds back. 2 seconds to the good over Chris Ritchie, who sits in sixth. Seventh is Chris Ryan, who is another 1.5 seconds back. Then you got Chris Leach in eighth, who is another second back. And he is 0.5 second to the good over your pole sitter, Chris Robert, who is the last car. Actually, I take that back. Robert moves around Leach. So,
Yeah, Robert's in 8 and Leach is in 9 at present.
I'd like to give a shout out to Leach. He was involved in 2 of those earlier cautions, and he has just battled back to run in the top 10. What a phenomenal job of just being patient.
currently the last car on the lead lap in ninth. And then the first car 1 lap down is Chris Pitts in the 84. Retirements so far. Chris Coaching currently being scored in 20th. And Chris T. Jones in 22nd. Chris Papa in the 13th still sits on pit road trying to get that engine changed. So he could still make up some spots as I didn't want to click that. There we go. As we are closing in on the halfway mark as your leader Chris Tate starts lap 100 right now.
It looks like Chris James just took over second from Jones. There you go.
And we do thank the partners for the Chris Cup, DeMarzo's Gears, Stimnut Racing Sims, and Butt Kicker. As Tate, just a dominating performance right now. His business starting to pick up, it looks like, as James got by Jones for second. So Chris James starting to make his march forward, still 8 seconds behind. So he's gained 4 seconds on Tate since he came out of pit road.
So what I'm wondering is, for the guys that stayed out a little bit longer, you think maybe
71's into the wall. Chris Landy just ate the turn 1 wall.
Oh, and he's missing a hood as well.
Yes, he is. So
not going to help Arrow.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, you're getting more air to the engine, but
Might help with the overheating.
yeah, absolutely, because he's taken more than one race car to the face tonight. So just a lot of carnage early on. But Ernie, go back to what you were saying with.
Oh, I was just pointing out the fact that, the guys that actually stayed out longer, I'm wondering if maybe they did that on purpose to know that the tire wear was going to allow them to make up all that time that they lost by staying out. And maybe they're using that as an advantage for maybe the other pit stops in the race to, if they're working with a spotter or a crew chief, to say, all right, well, you need to stop at this time, and this time, and then this will get you to the finish.
We got
Yeah,
Robert. Sorry, we got Robert coming down low, passing Richie for 5th, and he gets it done.
And those guys have just been in lockstep all night long. Once Richie's been able to get that car wound up, took him a couple laps to get the hamster going in the 35. But once he did, he's been running right around the top 5 all night long. But getting back to what you're talking about, that's when I set up a race, when I go to plan out a race, if I'm a crew chief for somebody, or if I'm driving myself, I back time my races. Like I know I can get on. If I'm not saving fuel, this is my window of when I need to stop to be able to make it to the end and still have enough to do a green-white checker if needed. And then I just back time the race from there, and it's like, okay, there's always going to be, at every track, there's always going to be that one pit stop that's either early or late. And what I'll normally do is I'll run it till it's bingo the first couple of times, and then split up the rest of it and kind of see where I can evenly space the last couple of stops that I need, so that the last one, it's not with 3 to go and you're going in for a splash and go. You've got enough fuel in the tank when you get inside the top 10.
Right, agreed.
They're inside time to go.
If we can go on board or go check out that 2 car of Chris James. I've been watching some laps here, and he is constantly running 0.3, if not more, quicker than our leader, Christopher Tate. Last lap was a 56 for Tate and a 31 for James. I don't know what the gap is on the racetrack. Can he even see him? I don't know, but he is definitely quicker and has been for the last 5 laps.
Absolutely. And Kevin, if you want, I did get a GoPro on his helmet before we went green.
Yeah, we are in the on board right now with Chris James.
See what kind of line he's running. Looks like he's steadily going to be running in that middle and then bringing it right out to the wall, coming to the line, which is, that's the preferred line. That's the line I like to run, unless I really have to dive it down to catch someone. But you can really make up a lot of time over the bumps and then just drive it right out to the wall there like he is right now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of trying to pinch the car down in the corners here, because it is progressive banking here at Iowa. So you do get a little bit more help the higher up you go. But you definitely don't want to try to pinch it down, because all that's going to do is just completely annihilate your right front tire. And he's already picked up, since the last time we mentioned it, he's gone from 12 seconds to 8 seconds, now down to 4 seconds behind Chris Tate. So you can't tell me Chris James is not trying to hustle that Miller Genuine Chris number 2 around this track.
Oh no, last lap was a 25.02 for Tate and a 44 for James. So he's definitely reeling him in. It's going to be good to see when he catches him, how he works his way around him.
Tate is driving his backside off right now, as he was sideways coming off of turn number 4 that last lap, to put us to start lap 115. So Tate, James, Jones, Otto, and Richie, and we're back on the caution.
Now this changes everything. I would expect that everybody is going to come down pit road and take tires for sure.
Absolutely.
It looks
Man,
like Chris Meza just got into the wall.
Looks like he got tight underneath that car above him. I really didn't catch the number of it, but he slammed the brakes on and just
Yeah,
got
that's
in.
the 84. The 84. Oh, actually, they made contact. He came down and Chris went up.
Yeah, there was heavy contact there, and that goes back to what we were talking about. Mesa tried to throw it in there, pinch it down low, and I don't even think Crowder knew he was there.
No, he was
Or
coming
not
in.
Crowder. Who was that?
That was the 84 of...
Pitts.
Yeah.
That'd be Chris Pitts.
Yeah, I don't even think Pitts knew he was there.
No. Tate's down
bad
into
news-
Pitts.
Bad
Okay.
news for Pitts. That just cost him the lucky dog. That puts Chris Jonathan Leach back on the lead lap in 9th.
And we've got
we
the
got-
entire... Yep, sorry, go ahead there, Ernie.
I was just saying we had the top 8 now. Top 8 all on pit road.
Absolutely. All the lead lap cars, and expect Leach to bring it down this time. So, definitely, and of course, Tate down and away first, kind of to be expected. So, this is gonna equalize it, because we saw James and Leach get some good runs at the start of this piece, and it looks like Leach might be coming down pit road this time, as all the cars that are lapped down pit road is now finally open to them. James, we saw, was able to go like hell on fresh tires. Tate, we know, takes a little bit to really get that car wound up. Jones can go like hell on fresh tires. Otto's been able to go like hell on fresh tires. Robert has been able to go like hell on fresh tires. And Chris Ritchie, he's got to get something figured out, because he's not able to go like hell.
Right. My question is, we know this is not a 1.5 miles. It's not a super speedway or anything like that. For the guys that have a little bit of damage, like Jonathan Leach, he's missing quite a bit of his front end. Does Arrow, really play that much, or do you think that he can work his way back up now that he's in a good spot?
I saw the 62 of Christopher Reese keeping pace with one of our top 5. I can't remember who it was in the last stint, and he was missing all sorts of he was missing the whole front of his car. So I think it seems to be more tire dependent.
Well, you got to remember that Reese was on fresher tires at that point too.
Right.
So that's going to play a big role as to whether or not you can kind of maintain. Do I think Leach is going to be able to get up on the podium? He's got an uphill climb. So he's going to need a lot of trouble in front of him to be able to pull that one off. Do I think he could probably get it in the top 5 if he hustles it? He's got a chance. Because, yeah, Arrow does play a factor here, but it's not as big a factor as, say, like Chicagoland or Michigan or Daytona or Talladega. You still need that front splitter to give you downforce. But you can get away without it.
Right. It's this is definitely getting ready to get interesting. The caution came out, I think, at prime time. I don't think anybody really wanted to see it, but this is definitely setting it up for a good second half of the race, for sure.
Absolutely.
You got to figure every car here has is tightened up since the beginning of the event, and because the track temperature has already dropped 12 degrees. So, go ahead.
We can focus on the 35. He was involved in that last caution there, but he really didn't hit the wall that hard and didn't get any really significant damage from it. So you never know. We get another long run. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on Christopher Ritchie here.
Yeah, I think he was playing a strategy earlier. He definitely looked like he was in control.
Well, we're going to see what's going to happen, because we saw the last time he tried to restart, was not able to really get that car up to speed for about 10 laps. Could possibly have started in the wrong gear. So, I mean, we've all done that a couple of times in our career.
Yeah.
So, lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace car as the field works its way down the back straightaway. And the two guys that had just been in lockstep all night long, Chris Tate and Chris James, gonna lead them back to green as the pace car gets ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road. As they come out of turn number 4, the question is, what type of restart are we gonna get? And
He holds them.
the green flag comes out. We are back underway, and he held him down. And yeah, we're definitely going to need to talk to Tate about making sure he's got the right number on that car, because apparently he's got the number. And we're back under caution.
Sorry to cut you off. Big wreck.
And the 9 involved in that one.
Let's go head on into the fence.
Oh, he gets into the back of who is that? The 88?
98.
98.
Oh. And then there was a car that just had nowhere to go and clipped him on the right side, and it shot him right up to the fence. I didn't see who that was, but that was a hard lick.
That was the 1 of Chris Williams.
Oh, and he's smoking now.
Not surprising with how hard he just tried to take down the turn 2 wall.
Doesn't look like he had any front end either, so he really took the brunt of that force hit.
Yeah, that was bad. That was definitely a thank God this is a simulator moment tonight. So
looks like the car that started it all just got loose. He was by himself.
Well, Lawrence and Robert kind of had a meeting of the minds there, and Robert had to chase it down the hill. Lawrence, who was to his inside, had to go down onto the apron as soon as he did. Around it came, they kind of went back up the track, and just absolutely nowhere to go for the 1.
Unfortunate. You don't want to see that for anyone. So we got Rayburge, Lawrence, Leach all back on pit road. I would imagine just to repair a little bit more damage that they had. And Christopher B. Williams is also in there, probably repairing a little bit.
Yeah, he caught a shot from that one too. So it looks like the 37 of Chris Meza, who just got put back on the lead lap. He's coming down to get that car service.
Meza, if I remember correctly, he runs in the truck series. I'm going to have to verify that, but if I'm correct, I think he just won the last truck race we were in. I will have to check that out. I'll have to go look at some of my stats here. I'll look at that and let you know here in a little bit.
Fair enough.
He also is back in with Chris Thompson, also B. Williams again. He's still in there, so yeah, they're definitely repairing some damage that they got.
Caution: this is when you can pit farm these cars. Now you go into the pit, you get some service done, and then hustle it back around and
So listening to the race chatter here, Chris Pitts just came over the radio and said he doesn't know how many laps he's down, but he's got just about all of his damage repaired. So he's done a pretty good job of getting in the pits and out of the pits repairing damage. Looks like, what's that, -6 laps? So he's still got he's got a little bit of work to do, but he's got all his damage repaired, he said. So let's see, from
He's got as much damage as iRacing will let him fix. Let's put it that way.
right,
But
right.
the 17 of Chris Gouge, that's going to be the battle between those two, as Williams still on pit road. So that's going to put him and Gouge on the same lap, along with Chris Reese in the 62 as of right this second. And then he's got to worry about Chris Williams in the 31, who is 10 laps down. So he's definitely going to have to get that car out of pit road as quickly as he can. It'll still a ton of damage on the number 1 of Williams. So Tate, James, Jones, Otto, Richie, Ryan, Lawrence, Leach, Robert, and Chris Raul Meza in the 37, the final car on the lead lap. So 10 cars left on the lead lap here. And Tate elected to take the outside lane this time, finally remembering that they get lane choice. Locks, cocks, fires, and we are back underway. And don't look now, but Chris James right there with him to his inside.
I see we got that 24 car back up in the mix. Remember a few runs ago, he kind of dropped back and kind of rode around a little bit, and now he's showing something what he's got.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that as far as long run sets go, Chris Ryan Jones in 24, not really there, but on the short runs he can make some headway, as he is all over the back bumper of Chris James right now. As those two try to keep pace with the 25 being scored as the 20 of Chris Tate.
Yeah, but from what I've seen, he usually jumps out there to that lead and then kind of falls off later in the run. So I think things are getting ready to get interesting as long as the carnage holds off. There goes Leach to 48 with no front end, boy, putting pressure on the 18.
Leach has already moved up one spot since we've restarted.
He's giving it all he's got right now, trying to prove me wrong. Knocking on the door of the top 5. Oh, hang on to her, son. Had to chase it down the hill coming off a 2. And that is going to lose the momentum that he gained and give the spot back to Chris Lawrence. So, tell me these guys aren't hungry to be the first one to win on ESBN.
Oh, for sure. You're always going to be the first one. I know I would be if I was here running.
So,
Oh! What
Lawrence
happened there?
chasing it down the hill. Lawrence just had to chase it down the hill. He got squirrely coming off before, and had to chase it down the hill, and we are back under caution.
I don't think we'll see anybody on pit road. They
Oh,
all
that's-
just came under caution and go. So I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody will stay out this time.
Started with
17.
the 37.
And once again, he really didn't even hit it that hard. I'll tell you, man.
Yeah, he did.
He's had some luck tonight.
He walloped the turn 4 wall.
Oh,
And then he caught the left rear corner. He caught the right rear corner of the 17 of Gage,
Yeah,
or
it was-
Gowd.
the 17 is the one that really suffered because just hit him in the right way to do a pit maneuver and send him like spinning like a top into the wall.
And that's one of those, thank God this is a simulator moments, because the angle that the 17 hit, that's a guaranteed basilar skull fracture.
Yeah, that's definitely a eight-part harness. Thank you for holding me in the seat moment.
Yeah.
Hans device, you are my best friend.
Exactly.
So,
I'm glad to be up in the booth.
true story.
Oh, it looks like everybody from second all the way down to 10th came into pit road. I really
Well,
didn't-
no, that was your leader, Tate. James stayed out.
Wow. That's
So while we are under caution, they're going to look for... I don't have them. I have nobody.
These are some secondhand looking Mustangs out here. I tell you, some of them.
I'm looking for team rooms, and right now I'm only seeing 2 drivers in the entire Discord server. That's Chris Tate and Jason Pitts. So we are actually going to reach out now to the driver of the number 25, being scored as the 20. Chris Tate. Chris, Tony Trapasso, ESBN. You have a copy on me, sir?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
We're doing great. Now, I'm going out on a limb here and going to say that you probably did not want to see these cautions start to happen again, because you had one hell of a lead at one point.
I'm kind of glad they did, just because things even back out. I knew I probably couldn't hold them off on the long run, but right now I'm just trying to find out how long I can go on a tank of fuel to make a run to the end. So we'll just see how we can do it.
Well, sir, best of luck to you, and hopefully we're talking to you again in a few laps.
All right, let's see y'all.
All right, so we heard it there. Tate thinks that James has the better long-run car. Ernie, your thoughts?
we've definitely seen it throughout the runs. I mean, we've had some cautions, and then we get the long run. But since James stayed out, I think Tate might have something. But like, we still have quite a few laps to go, so he nailed it right on the head. He definitely falls off a little bit on the long run, and we'll just have to see where it goes.
You know, this is going to be fun to see how this one shakes out, as Chris James staying out just screwed a ton of cars. And we see a lot of cars dropping to the inside as they were a lap down, and unfortunately the leader stayed out, so they couldn't get their lap back. So that's definitely going to hurt quite a few cars. So Chris James, Chris Tate, Chris Jones, Chris Otto, Chris Ryan, Chris Ritchie, Chris Robert, your pole sitter, Chris Leach, Chris Meza, Chris Thompson, and now we have an 11th car back on the lead lap. That is the 9 of Christopher Lawrence. So 11 cars on the lead lap, working lap 137, or 138 now, sorry. 137 in the books of 200. And James doing the same thing that Tate did the last time, electing to restart from that second lane. As the field works its way down the back straightaway here at Iowa Speedway. James going to have the button, and we already heard Tate say that if it stays green very long, he doesn't think he has anything for James. Going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. And how about Chris Ryan in the 18, getting caught up in that earlier melee? Started 19th overall, currently sits in the number 5 slot. As green flag comes out, and we are back underway. And I was not live. So Tate, James, Jones, Otto, Ryan, your top 5 right now, as Tate was able to take advantage of James trying to hold him down. And Jones working to the inside of James right now as they haul it off into turn number 3. Am I connected?
Yep. We've got you.
So right now the battle, do we have Ernest? That's the question. As James and Jones side by side hauling it off into turn number 3. It's James on the outside, Jones on the inside, and full send it mode for the 24. Makes it happen coming off of turn number 4. Slide job a little bit out. And don't look now, but here comes the 98 of Robert to the inside of the 18 of Chris Ryan. That is your battle for 5th. Really hot and heavy right now, as Robert just keeps his foot in it, and Ryan's going to have to do nothing but drop back.
I just have a question: is where'd that 88 come from? I know we were watching him earlier in the race, and he was just back there laying around, and he's really showing some speed now up there in course.
Well, that's one of the things we were talking about earlier. He was following Tate on his march back up through the field, and he's not been a slouch all night long. Started 8th, currently running 4th. But the one that's really got my attention is the 18 of Chris Ryan. He was 2 laps down at one point. Now currently sits back on the lead lap after starting 19th in 6th place.
And once again, there's that 35 of Christopher Ritchie working his way back up again. This guy is relentless.
And that's one of those things that, we touched on earlier too. It takes him a few laps to get the hamster back up to speed, but, once he gets, the hamster addicted to the chemical substance, off she goes, and he is starting to march back up through the field as he works to the inside of the 18 of Ryan right now. And don't look now, but see who's behind him? That is the 48 of John Leach, and that car looks like it's been through a war zone.
I was getting ready to say, and just back there minding his business, wanting to get a good finish out of it. Repaired a lot of damage, no front end, just hanging tough. Looks like this car's not that bad. Maybe a little tight there in center, but could work to his advantage on exit.
Battle for 3rd really starting to heat up too. And the battle for the lead between Tate and Jones. Jones just full send it mode, using the lap car as a pick. Tate going to have to relinquish the lead, as everybody else getting by that lapper relatively easy. I didn't catch the number on it. And the 88 just banged the wall going into turn number 1. That's going to let Robert in the 98 get by the 88.
He'll be able to gather things back up if he didn't hit it too hard. It doesn't look like he's got too much damage on that right front. He should be fine.
As these guys still in lockstep, as Jones starting to walk away from Tate right now. James currently sitting in no man's land in the Miller Genuine Chris number 2, trying to reel Tate back in, and it's Tate gets a big wiggle coming off of 4.
Fastest lap that last lap was a 24.01 by Jones. That 24 car, he is just ripping it right now. It might hurt his tires in the longer run. We'll just have to wait and see how the 20 car, which is showing on scoring time, of Tate and James, maybe reel him in the longer we run if we don't get any more yellow.
again, James all over the back bumper right now of Chris Tate. Is big wiggle for James coming off a 2. Keeps his foot in it, though. Keeps the momentum. And again, right back on the back bumper. But, you know, the other thing I want to touch on, too, is how about Chris Thompson right now in the 40? Started 20th, currently sitting in 10th.
Yeah, that's incredible. And we've got Richie going at it with the 88 of Otto.
Get those hamsters wound back up after slowing them down for the caution. Looking to get a 2 for not going to be able to make it happen that lap. As he gets the clear on Otto, now sets his sights on Robert. Down the back straightaway they come. Robert, Otto, Richie, Ryan, and Leach all in lockstep right now. That is your battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
You can throw a blanket over all these boys. I'll tell you what, that 35 car, he's got a little bit of damage on that right front, but I think might actually be helping him. It could add a little bit of downforce there in some occasions.
It's a happy
Yeah,
accident.
absolutely. And here we go to the inside of the 98 comes Richie. Was looking going into 3, not able to make it happen. Full send it mode going into turn number 1 as they come up on the lap car. That looks like the 77.
Oh, they got close.
There was no close about it. The 77 just ate the wall. Richie and Robert still in lockstep. Drag race to the stripe. Give the spot to Richie by 10/1000ths of a second. This is basically the distance from the tip of the front bumper to where the headlights sit on these cars, folks.
And we just had a change for second as James gets ahead of Tate. Tate's
And
also...
they got the lap car of the 17 right there with them. So Gage doing everything he can to try to get the heck out of the way. They got another lap car that they're coming up on. This is not going to help their battle.
Is very loose, even in a straight line.
You got to think Tate has burned all of the goodie off the right side of that car. There's virtually no grip on the front, no grip on the rear. Just going as hard as he could to try to keep pace with Ryan Jones, or Chris Ryan Jones, as he's 2.5 seconds to the good over this battle for second that we're watching. It's James in the Miller Genuine Chris 2 and the 25 of Chris Tate with the number 20 transponder in it tonight.
And Chris Ryan Jones is still the fastest car on the track with a 46. Everybody else in the top 10 looks like they're all running in the 5s and the 6s. But the longer we run, I think it's definitely going to fall off for the 24 car. We've seen it, happen to certain drivers, and I believe he was one of them that we touched on earlier, where he was good on the short run, but as we turn more laps, that 2 car and the 35, I'm still watching him a little bit. He's running a 66 last lap, so we'll see how it goes the longer they run.
8 was completely sideways coming off a 4 that last lap, but yeah, you're absolutely right. As we are inside the you can make it from here zone, gentlemen, what's your strategy? How are you going to break this one up, as we have not seen the money stop yet?
I would, if I was racing, I'd tend to break it in halves. That way, I still like you referred to earlier. You had something for later in the race in case you get a green white checker or something like that. But definitely, you would want to break it in half and wait to see who stops before you, like leader wise. Say you're running in a top 5, like Chris Otto. He's running 6th right now. Gray Boards is in 5th. you definitely want to see what the guys in front of you want to do, because you know the tires are so important on that longer run coming to the finish.
Saw that the undercut was huge here. With the gap that Kate was able to open up by getting the undercut, pitting first, getting the fresh tires, and being able to go like hell. He opened up at one point. It was a 12-second gap over everybody else, and then as we've all seen time and time again, getting to someone is one thing. Getting past them, that's a whole other story. When everybody's playing nice, fine. When everyone's not playing nice, Katie barred the door because it's about to get fun.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of that right now as the 18 of Chris Ryan is struggling to get around the 88 of Otto, and coming up behind them is Leach.
Well, that's the story of the night, I believe. I mean, you just look at the front end of Leach's car, and there's nothing to it, but yet he is battling. I think that's going to be my driver of the race tonight. Is going to be Leach. I mean, not giving him a hard time or anything, but man, he is definitely hung it out and really put it on the line tonight for a good showing, for sure.
Well, I was actually just looking at our top 10, and I'm really impressed as well with Richie and Robert and Leach. They're all have been through quite a bit.
So, if I can, Chris Jones and Christopher Tate last lap ran exactly the same lap, 24:67, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a good finish.
Again, we have not seen the money stop yet, so it's going to be interesting to see which one of these, top 8 that are really within striking distance as Leach finally gets around the 18 of Ryan. Ryan's starting to really fade as Leach now sets his sights on the 88 of Chris Otto. And again, that 48 has definitely seen better days. That's one of those deals where the entire crew has earned their money, and whoever stocked their crash cart needs to be fired, because you always put a fresh nose on the crash cart.
So last lap was a 77 for Jones and a 71 for James. So we're starting to see now, the trend of the long run starting to come around. And then the past lap that we just ran was an 80 for Jones and a 56 for James. So I think we're starting to see that transition to where the cars that were better on the long run are going to start working their way closer to the leader.
Thing is, we're 30 to go, getting ready to be 29 to go. What's going to happen when these guys pit? We know nobody can make it from here. So if you're Chris James and you need a long run car, do you pit now and hope that it stays green? Chris Papa finally puts it on the hauler, as did Don Reedy. Who is Don Reedy? Bye, Don. Sorry, folks. So, for those of you watching in the chat right now, go ahead, let us know what your call is. Who you got? Let us know, as we're just kind of grazing through the final laps here, trying to figure out who's going to blink first in this top 8.
So Leach wasn't able to keep up with Otto, and the 18 of Ryan is just suddenly been able to pull ahead. So it looks like Leach might be losing the pace that he had. Oh, little bit of wiggle from Ryan, allowing Leach to come back.
That boils down to what we were talking about earlier with the whole aero package. Leach can hang with these guys a little bit, but once all the good rubber is burned off the tires as he has to chase it down the hill hardcore coming off of turn number 4. But once you've burned all the good rubber off the tires, and
Oh!
Right in front of him.
wow, that was the 88 Auto.
Yeah.
Was that the 88? Oh no.
Hip check on the 35 and is
Oh.
clobbered by the Ace.
I couldn't. Oh.
And then the 84. Oh, he didn't have nowhere to go with the 88. Now see if
That
I
was,
tried, I would have waited until all the cars would have went around. That was unfortunate.
That's definitely a move that you gotta go. You gotta wonder, dude. Yeah, I know we're in the closing laps and we're 25 to go, but oh man,
Everybody is on pit road, which I was getting ready to say. And this is it right here. You were talking about money stop.
here it is.
Well, that then it answered. Yeah, it makes a decision for you in this sort of situation.
Yeah, because I was going to bring up while they were doing this long green run, I was going to say that I don't think anybody would or would have, but was 2 tires an option the closer we got, like right sides, maybe left sides, but irrelevant now. That washes it all out. Everybody's taking 4.
Here's the thing: with as loose as these guys have been running, you can't. There's no way. Because we saw guys with 4 tires having to chase it down the hill because they were sideways coming off of either 2 or 4. You don't dare put just 2 on because 2 tires it really loosens the car up. So
Yeah, I would have most definitely went with the 4. Even though if it was a green flag stop, I probably, you just have so much more of a time advantage with 4 tires for sure.
Chris Jones in the 24 popped for speeding off.
No.
Yes.
Oh, it's so brutal up in the top 10.
Yeah, back to the. This is going to be fun. He's got a good car, so this is going to be fun to watch.
No, he's been in good shape.
Take a look who won the battle off pit road. That's the
Mr.
98 of your pole sitter.
Yeah, that's that Leach. Look at Leach. I'll tell you what, man, with no front end. I hope he's getting some love in the chat. He has battled. He's up 12 from where he started at with damage in the first 2 cautions, and there he is.
Yeah, we're just trying to see what's going to happen here as we get to the final laps. Robert, Tate, James, Richie, Ryan, Leach, Lawrence, Thompson, Jones, and Otto, the last car on the lead lap. So 10 cars. The 88 was able to stay on the lead lap so far. Chris Raul Meza in the 37. First car 1 lap down in 11th. Then we've got Chris Crowder, Chris Pitts, Chris Reese, Chris Williams, Chris Gouge, Chris Landy, Chris B. Williams, no relation, Chris Corvo, Chris Papa, Chris Kotching, and Chris Jones. So Papa, Kotching, and Jones have all put it on the hauler this evening.
So who else is in the driver lounge if we have time that we might be able to bring in? Who'd we bring in? Pitts the first time or Tate?
We brought in Tate. Pitts currently sitting 4 laps down as the lights go out on the pace car, so we don't have time.
Yeah, we do not. Okay, I thought it'd be a good idea to talk to someone else, but we'll see at the end of the race.
I tell you,
we don't have a lot of drivers in the driver lounge to bring in to talk to. That's
And you noticed that too, huh?
Yeah, I did. I wonder why.
So-
maybe they're a little shy once they see the broadcast. they'll be itching to get their voice on here. But I just wanted to say,
Stirred.
I just wanted to say it's great. I'm really excited to see that Tabasco livery up there. That little, that's been putting some spice in the race. That little car. So it's fun to see it moving all the way up now to.
He's been battling the whole race. I'm telling you, we got some good things going on right here. We go coming to green.
Well, let's see what type of finish we can get, as we got a battle of the restaurant cars. It's Leach and there goes the 35. What the heck? I didn't quite catch who that was going for a ride down the track.
Whoa. He's lost lots of positions.
That was the 9 of Lawrence. Had to chase it down the hill coming off a 2. And he was just along for the ride at that point. Meanwhile, up in front, Tate and Robert in lockstep. And look at what's going on behind him. That's the deuce of Chris James. And he has his rearview mirror filled with the Chris Wild Wings, number 48 of Chris John Leach. Leach has to chase it up the track a little bit. And here comes the 24. Oh, Katie bar the door. He's on a charge right now as we are 15 to go. This time across the stripe. Tate showing the way. Half a second to the good over the 98 of Robert. He's going to have to run like hell right now because here comes Chris Jones. Here comes Chris James. Here comes Chris Leach. And here comes Chris Ryan.
I think this plays right into Tate's hands, though. Short run, don't have to worry about excessive tire wear. He had a good
hell right now.
Car. Yeah, he's probably not even barely letting off.
You just trail brake it. You never lift off the gas, and you kind of just use the brake to let the car take a set, and that's it. Other than that, you're not coming off that throttle pedal for life, love, nor money.
Especially now. That's for sure.
As we are 14 to go. Tate, Robert, James, Jones, and Leach.
Ryan gets by Leach.
As Chris Ryan gets by Chris Leach, as Leach has a slip high coming through 1 and 2. Now that is your closest battle on track right now. The battle of the wing wagons. Jones in the 18, Leach in the 48, and it looks like Leach may have got a little bit more damage as he is struggling now. He is really driving the wheels off that thing. The question is, can he hang on to that top 5 position as Chris Ritchie looks like he may have gotten the hamsters spooled up in the number 35 again.
Does he have enough time to catch up to the struggling Leach?
And that's an excellent question. And the other excellent question is, does Chris James in the deuce have enough to hold off the 24 of Chris Ryan? That is your battle right now for the final podium spot. Make that your battle for second, as I didn't see what happened to Chris Robert. But he has a lot of damage on the right side of that car now.
Oh, that's crazy because he just ran the fastest lap on the track right there that last lap. He ran a 55. The leader ran a 65. Let's see, Chris James ran a 71. Jones ran a 73. So they're all kind of... It's still a little early in this run. We have, coming 10 to go. So we'll see.
We got... James and Jones still bumper to bumper.
In lockstep right now. For your classic Ford versus Chevy match. And here we go. The business is picking up as James in the Camaro throws it to the inside of, Jones in the Camaro throws it to the inside of James's Mustang. Side by side as they come up on the lap car. That is the 17.
Yep, I just worried about the 2 getting into the back of the 17 there, but he seems to have been able to keep some room.
24 trying to use the 9 as a pick as they go 3 wide coming out at turn number 2. That's a ballsy move by both those guys. Still in lockstep, throws it in. Chris James gets a little bit of a wiggle going in, winning a little too hard. That's going to let Jones get by him. And now Jones has to set his sights as we are going to be 6 to go this coming time across the stripe for Chris Tate, who's 2.5 seconds up the road.
Yeah, and he was the fastest car on the racetrack. I'm pretty sure that's because them guys were side by side. That didn't help their case any for catching the leader at all.
Not at all in the least. But now that Jones has clear track ahead of him, what type of a run can he get going? As he was faster by a full 10th that time.
Oh yeah, he ran a 05 to a 15, so we'll see how it goes. That 2 car's not letting him go anywhere though, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. As he throws it to the inside, full send it mode, the 1 just gets the heck out of the way and brushes the wall. James still not close enough, not able to make it happen off of turn 4. James seems to be faster off of 2. Jones seems to be faster off of 4.
Yeah, I see that too. I was kind of thinking that the high line would be the momentum, but I mean, he keeps them left side right there. Man, that's close. Good view.
Absolutely. That was the 71 of Chris Landy getting out of the way. As we are going to be 3 to go this time across the stripe. Chris Tate, your current leader, brings it coming out of turn number 4.
Tate and Jones ran the same exact lap time that last lap. 24s.
Absolutely. As cars just getting out of the way, not wanting to be part of this battle and cost anybody anything. And here comes the 2 of James again, his popsicle sticks in the air. Chris Tate, 2 laps to go. Tate, Jones, James, your battle right now is for second place between Chris Ryan Jones in the 24 and Chris James in the Deuce.
It doesn't look like they're making up any ground on Tate either. Tate ran a 30, Jones ran a 33, and Chris James ran actually a 30, ran the same lap time.
Final lap.
White flag in the air, Chris Tate showing the way. So the entire length of the back straightaway is the lead for Tate right now. It's pretty much academic unless he steps on his own junk coming off of turn number 4. 31 gives him plenty of room. So there's Tate with the win. Drag race to the stripe. Give it to the 24 Jones for second place. Chris James coming home in third. Your pole sitter Chris Robert hanging on for fourth. Chris Ryan, after going 2 laps down at one point, starting 19th on the field, comes home in fifth. Chris Ritchie in the 35 finally got those hamsters spooled up, coming home in sixth. John Leach in seventh. Chris Thompson in eighth. Chris Otto, the last car on the lead lap, in ninth. So, again, I don't see anybody really in the voice chats other than the man of the hour right now, and that, of course, is going to be the driver of the number 25 with the number 20 transponder in it tonight, Chris Tate. Chris, congratulations on the victory. I know you were a little concerned if it stayed green that you weren't going to have anything for James, but when that last caution came out, did you think you had anything for Jones?
Yeah, for sure. The caution before that, whenever I was talking about not having enough fuel and was just going for fuel, I don't know why, but I just took fuel and didn't take tires. So I kind of screwed myself over on that and started falling back a lot. But once that caution came out, I was pretty happy it did, just because it put me back in the ball game.
Well, when the caution did come out, you were with inside the you can make it from here zone, and then with that other restart that we had within the go like hell zone, that's exactly what you did. Talk us through how loose the car would get on older tires.
It was definitely a handful because how he transitioned to the different banking on the track and the corners coming off. But usually it was coming off the corners. Never got to the high line. They'd just send the car wanting to spin to the inside. So that was definitely a challenge. I had to manage that and manage your right rear along with the right front. But altogether, it was just well put together and had a lot of fun tonight.
All right. Well, moving forward, bear with me here. I just need to pull this up. We go from one of the shortest tracks on the schedule to, I believe, the longest track on the schedule, as we head up to Wisconsin and the Cheese State in November. Scary idea. And possibly run the risk of running Road America in the snow next week.
Yeah, I would definitely love to race it. Fortunately, I don't think I'll be able to just because this is kind of a one-off deal for now, just because I love running this league, but I hope I can do full-time soon.
Well, again, Chris, congratulations on the victory tonight. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, ESBN, everyone for putting on the league and racing in it, and that does it.
I got a question for him if I could.
Go ahead.
So earlier in the race, we saw that your car kind of fell off on the longer run. I know that the caution came out later. Were you kind of worried if that caution wouldn't have came out to where everybody came down pit road? Because we knew you had a stellar car on the short run. But were you worried if the caution weren't going to come out if you got out to that big lead and then everybody would have started catching you down like they did earlier in the race? How relieved were you for that last caution to come out?
I was honestly pretty relieved. I saw the lead dwindling down, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to pit until about 65, 70 to go to make it to the end. And if that would have happened, then I wouldn't. It'd probably been too big of a gap to make up. But luckily, things fell out the way they did, and it all worked out.
Right on, brother. Good win, man. Good race.
Thank you.
All right. Again, Chris Tate, congratulations, and hopefully we're seeing you next week in Wisconsin.
Hope so. See y'all.
All right. So, looks like that is going to do it for our interviews tonight, considering that no one else in their top 10 is in any of the voice chat channels.
Yeah, I will make sure that I bring that up in the next production meeting, that we need more people there. That's for sure.
So,
Well, I do appreciate that they parked their cars for us, though. That's
yeah,
nice.
absolutely. The only thing is we can't talk to them.
Yeah.
But let's final thoughts before we go through the finishing order. Ernie, we'll start with you.
Yeah, in the beginning of the race, we kind of knew that Tate was going to be one of the stronger cars. But I really have to give props out to Leach. He battled. I mean, he was damaged in the first two cautions of the race. Came up, finished 7th in the race. Ray Borge also, he made up a lot of ground. And let's see who else can I put. Otto.
Chris Ryan in the 18 went 2 laps down at one point.
Yeah, the 35 car, Richie, he really started off, I mean, not slow, but his car took, like you said, the hamsters to get going. So we saw a lot of good things after they got past the carnage, as we said, and got to some good green flag racing. It was a blast. I really enjoyed calling the race with you guys, being up here in the booth.
All right. Well, joining us now, the driver of the number 24. We, of course, are talking to Ryan Jones. Ryan, again, congratulations on the podium. Sorry that it took so long to get you in here. But, yeah, you were definitely on a march. I'm guessing speeding off in the last pit stop?
Yeah, I was speeding coming out. I was trying to get ahead of 25, and it looked like Robert's took 2 tires. I was going to see if I could try and get ahead of 2, and I just wasn't paying attention and ended up speeding. And, it was a tough break for us having that caution come out because we were definitely the dominant one there, and we had fresher tires than Tate and James. And when that caution came out, it made it all even again, and Tate definitely had the fastest car all day. But I was really happy I was able to come back up and finish second.
Well, we saw you running up front most of the night. And during the first part of the race, it looked like your car was kind of favoring more towards the short run version of the race. And then when we got that nearly 100 lap stint, you know, you were kind of on a long run strategy at that point, it looked like.
Yeah, at the beginning of the race, I was definitely eating up my tires more than I wanted to, and I said, you know, I need to change something here. We were able to get that once we were to get that long run going, and able to get the green flag pit stop, so I was able to kind of cycle out a long run better. And then the field got bunched up again, and I felt like I was a lot more confident on that longer run and was able to hang on with them a little more. But again, I mean, this track is just, it's one of those wild, tough tracks that actually has multiple grooves that you can run on, and it's real slick, especially once it gets dark. So needless to say, I had a lot of fun tonight. Great racing there with James there at the end. Damn near a photo finish pretty much. And I can't say enough about these guys and everybody sponsoring this league. And we just had a real good time tonight.
Absolutely. Now, your thoughts moving forward as we leave Iowa and head up to Cheese State and possibly run in the snow next week at Road America.
Yeah, again, that's another one that's going to be tough on all of us. The thing I like about it is it kind of mixes up the playing ground a little bit. You got drivers that can run better on road than they can in the oval. I myself, I need a little bit of work going in, so I'm going to definitely take some time and practice it and get to learn the track a little better, and hopefully I can come out with another top 3, if not a win.
All right. Well, again, we're looking forward to seeing you next week, and best of luck if we do.
You got it, Tony. Thanks to ESBN for broadcasting. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you, sir, for putting on a hell of a show for us. So that was Ryan Jones, your second place finisher. And Ernie, I believe you have our third place finisher, Chris James, with you now.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? Good finish tonight.
I appreciate it, guys.
So my question to you is, you kind of battled there. I was just wondering, after the beginning of the race when all the carnage was going. Carnage, yeah, that's a good thing. Kinda. But
No, it's not.
you made your way through it all, and we noticed that your car was actually kind of balanced. You didn't really fall back. You didn't really, move up forward, and you just bided your time. What were you thinking when the caution came out for the last time? Were you confident that you were good on the short run, or were you kind of wishing that it went, green the rest of the way?
Oh, I didn't want to see the caution. I suck at short run speed. Long run is where it's at with me with saving the tires. I'll just end up wrecking it when I try to push it. So yeah, I think I was starting to catch Jones there, and I might have had a chance of getting Jones at that last stint on green. And I was one lap good to the fuel, I believe. But it was a good race. I had fun battling Tate when we were out there, and Jones too there at the end.
Yeah, man. Good job. Good finish tonight. Hope to see you next week. I'll probably be in the booth with these guys. I had a lot of fun calling the race, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
Chris, Tony up in the booth. How's your feeling about going to the road course next week at Road America?
I'm one of those crazy road course guys. I'm excited about the road course. I don't know if I've driven the stock car at Road America, so that'll be a new thing. But I feel good, and I don't think there will be full course cautions. I'm not sure, but we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Thanks to you guys up in the booth broadcasting. Chris Jones for putting this ragtag group of Chris's together. My teammates over at CJR Motorsports, Chris Crowder, Chris Burge, Chris Raw Meza, and I think soon to be Chris Tommy Gossett, I think joined us. Shout out to all them guys.
All right. Well, we will see you next week at Road America, and best of luck to you then, sir.
Thank you, Tony.
So, that is going to do it for the interview portion. Let's take a quick look at the final tally of tonight. Chris Tate coming home with the victory. Chris Jones hanging on for second after getting popped for speeding under the money stop. Had to climb his way up quite a few spots there. Chris James able to hang on for a podium finish. Chris Robert battled back all night long and was able to get a top 5, coming home in 4th. Chris Ryan was 2 laps down at one point after starting 19th. Got caught up in the first crash, came home in 5th. Chris Ritchie, not the night he was hoping for, was able to salvage a 6th place finish. Jonathan Leach, ESBN Driver of the Night tonight, after starting 18th, going 2 laps down at one point, completely losing the front end of that car body-wise.
He's actually in the lobby, the lounge. Do you want to bring him in to see what he has to say?
I think I'm going to let him change his fire suit first, because I guarantee you change the flavor of it at least once tonight. He's coming home in 7th. Chris Thompson coming home in 20th. Or started 20th, coming home in 8th after not putting in a qualifying time. So good on him. Chris Otto, the last car being scored on the lead lap, coming home in 9th. Chris Lawrence, not the night he was hoping for. First car 1 lap down in 10th. And we got Chris Raul Meza in 11th. Chris Crowder in 12th. Christopher Jason Pitts the second in 13th. Christopher Reese in 14th. Christopher Williams in 15th. Chris Gouge in 16th. Chris Landy in 17th. Christopher B. Williams in 18th. Chris Corio in 19th. Chris Papa in 20th. Chris Koching in 21st, and Chris Jones, the first one to put it on the hauler tonight, after catching more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games during that second caution that was brought out, being scored in 22nd. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Be sure to check out the next broadcast up on the lineup. If you are watching on the streams, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single broadcast, because it really helps us get the word out about ESBN and the series that we broadcast. Again, we do need to thank tonight's broadcast sponsors. We are, of course, talking about DeMarzo's Gears. You can find them at 661-212-3389. Then we have Sim Nut Racing Sims for all your sim peripheral needs. Our good friends over at Butt Kicker, where you can feel what you've been missing. And of course, our very good friends here at ESBN, our good friends over at Diecast Nuts. Now you can find Diecast Nuts on their webpage or their Facebook page. It's Diecast, all one word, nuts with a Z. Diecastnuts.com or facebook.com/diecastnuts. That is going to do it for us tonight. Don't forget to tune into the next broadcast. It's going to be kicking off here in just a few minutes, I believe, about less than an hour away from the Kicking Asphalt MPI Cup Series with Sam and Frank. For Ernie King, for Kevin Cunha, this is Tony Trapasso saying, remember, folks, as you walk down the road of life, don't play in traffic.